Hey everyone, this is day 2 of our Explore and Explain evolution based on natural selection. First thing you're going to do is read this cartoon and highlight the one that you agree with. So, person A says genetic variation is produced by natural selection. B says natural selection leads to adaptation. And C says natural selection means that the biggest, strongest, and fastest organisms survive. So just circle or highlight the one that you agree with. All right, the second thing you're going to do is look at this image and explain why natural selection is also called survival of the fittest. So, natural selection is when organisms better adapted to their environment tend to survive and produce more offspring. So, very simple image is this is the first frame, and you can see that the mice are either dark color or light color, depending on the gene variation that they got from their parents. Um, and the hungry hawk comes around, and what does he do? He sees the light colored mice, so he tends to eat the light colored mice more often, and the dark colored mice are able to blend in through camouflage and survive. And they reproduce. And then the third picture is the next generation of mice, and you can see that the dark colored trait was well suited for the environment. So they were able to survive and reproduce. The next thing I want you to do is look at this diagram. And at the bottom, you have a common ancestor of all these finches, and it came from the South America mainland. Okay, so these finches all live on the Galapagos Islands, which is about 200 kilometers west of South America. And you can see that depending on which branch they're on, they live in different places. We have ground finches, tree finches. Okay, we have two different types there. Between them, they can be seed eaters, they can be cactus flower eaters, bud eaters, insect eaters. So, depending on where they live, what they eat, based on their environment, they're going to have different size and shapes of beaks to help them eat the food that is available. Then the warbler finches are a little bit different from all the other ones. They're on a separate branch, and they have beaks that are very similar. One might be a little bit longer than the other, but they're very similar. So they're very adapted for their environment. Also, you can see this ancestor was gave rise to these two warbler finches, and they didn't really change that much. So they were well adapted for their environment. Here's a picture of two different birds, and I would just like you to tell me what is the cause of these differences. Then you're going to click on this article up here. And it's a very short article, about 3 or 4 paragraphs. And you read that article, and then you go back to the Pear Deck, and you have to pick the 3 statements out of the 6 that are true. So in your text box, you can just write the numbers 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6, or whatever numbers they are that are true. Okay. The next thing is you're going to play a little game, and it's called Nowhere to Hide. You need to enable your Adobe Flash to play, so hopefully you remember how to do that. So the purpose of this game is to understand the concept of natural selection. So how you play in this activity is there are 2 kinds of bugs. There's green ones and orange ones. These bugs live in leafy green trees. Every now and then, birds swoop in and eat the bugs. They usually eat the bugs they can see from a distance. Near the forest is a factory. The factory spews out a lot of orange chemical smoke. When the chemicals fall on the trees, they turn orange. So in this activity, you can control how much pollution lands on the trees. Just click on the slider and drag it toward more pollution, which is orange, or less pollution, which is green. Then you just sit back and watch what's happening. Then you're going to take a quizzes game, and you're going to have like 5 or 6 questions about that activity. All right, then on day 3, you'll have another quick video